bunch up, you don't get sweaty. Simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my Goats grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Ghost grips, they stay cool and dry from start to finish.
Hi everyone, I hope you're well. It's Raymond Wood from the RaymondsWood.com, and also we're proud to be sponsored by Goats Elite. If you have a little look at the top, the web address is there. Now, with a big thank you to Goats Elite. They've been sponsoring a lot of our players at the moment, and what they're doing is they're setting up ambassador programs. So if you're a player, boy or girl, age 5 or 6 years of age, all the way through to open age, if you want to become a Goats ambassador, Goats are looking for players to be ambassadors. What it means is you'll get one of these amazing packs. You'll get a lot of free stuff in there: grip socks, shin guards, breathwork strips. They've even got the amazing, I call them the 5-star slides of the world, but all the Premier League players are wearing them. You'll get yourself a bundle of all this stuff for free, and in return, all you've got to do is do a short post on socials, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you are. And also on top of that, we'll give you the code. And every time you give that code to someone, if they spend any money, we'll give you a percentage back, so you can actually earn money, and also you get a heap of free stuff from Goats. If you're interested to becoming a Goats Elite ambassador, all you need to do is drop us an email. I've put it all in the show notes below for you. Now, back to the professional player pathway. If you're already with us on the program and you're watching this, to give you a little bit of a helping hand, this is section 2, and section 2 for anyone who's following us is match analysis. If you're watching, in short, it's a program for boys and girls aged 6 or 7 years of age, all the way through to open age, who aspire to play professional, maybe go to college full-time in the USA as an example, on a scholarship. Maybe you're just happy to play maybe semi-professional, or you just wanted to improve your game. Okay, maybe there's mums and dads out there wondering whether what you're currently doing with your son and daughter is the right way to go. Maybe the club's not the right club or the wrong club. We're here to help you. Now, I'm going to jump straight into section 2. And if you're interested in to find out more about the other sections, if you go to our YouTube channel and if you look under our playlist, you'll see that we've got all of these videos there for you as well to watch back through. So I'm very quickly, I will take you to our screen. So this is what you will see. You will be able to see this screen currently. And on this screen, you'll see all of our different sections. Now today, we are talking about match analysis, which is section 2. Okay, so when we click into match analysis, you'll see there's a heap of side chapters, a short video from our friend Thiago Silva, also a little bit about the benefits of match analysis, but also a little bit about feedback from one of our players who's been through a match analysis. And what I want to try and do is today is I'm going to explain a little bit about match analysis. But before I do that, I'm going to play a short video from one of our players, Liam. Now, Liam joined us a couple of years ago on the programme, and within 12 months of joining us, he discovered us in Perth in Australia. Within 12 months of being with us, he's now living his dream, playing professional football in the UK. And I'm just going to play this short video from Liam. We identify in the match analysis 5 objectives. Now, these 5 objectives are the things that the player needs to work on, the areas of weakness.
The one area that helped me the best was probably playing to my advantages. Obviously, when I done the match analysis, I was playing in a league where obviously some of the kids were 2 years older, so they were fitter, faster, stronger than me. But when I found out that basically all I needed to do was do one thing that changed the game, that really improved my confidence. Obviously, before that, I wasn't getting on the ball enough. And once I was directed to knowing what to do, when I get it, I started playing better. Started feeling better about my performances. And then from there on, I've just improved every time I play.
Now, Liam had been with us on the programme, and it's a remotely based programme, the professional player pathway, as you can see here. And one of the elements, and it's a game changer, it is actually the match analysis section. And on the match analysis section, what will happen is we will get a recording of one of your games. So whether it's for your son or your daughter or for yourself, we'll get a recording of your game. We'll send it off to our analysts in Lisbon, in Portugal. They will do a match analysis and give us all the feedback. The feedback and the game gets given back to us and it gets dropped into the app. We then assign you a coach. Now, I give you an example. The coach that we assign for your match analysis could be a coach at one of the top teams in England or in Europe. Once we assign that coach will then analyse your game for you. Now, once they've analysed that game for you, you'll then receive what's called a match analysis PDF. And on that PDF, it's going to show you all your strengths, but it's also going to show you all of your weaknesses. And I'm going to drop back into the screen and I'm going to show you a little bit what it looks like once you've had this match analysis done. And I'm going to show you the benefit of the match analysis. So the process is you get a recording of your game, you send it in to us, we get it analysed in Lisbon, they'll run it through the system, they give it back to us, and then we assign it to a coach. Once you assign it to a coach, we then will get the PDF and the recordings done for you. I'll then walk you through a little bit of the next steps and how we get you to connect with a professional coach in the UK or in Europe, and they're going to actually take you through on a Zoom call online and walk you through what you need to do and what you don't need to do. But also we then give you the magic pieces of the puzzle to turn yourself into a football superstar. And this is the same program and the same objectives that players like Jude Bellingham, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Phil Foden, Reece James, Lauren James, all the superstars of the WSL and the Premier League all followed in the youth academy systems in the UK. So I will take us back over to here. And when we go into classroom, you got section 2, which is match analysis. But one of the things where it links in as well, guys, is when we come in to the match analysis section, a big part of it you'll see on this screen here is that when the game's recorded, you'll notice all of the lines and the dots, and you don't need to worry too much about this, but we then connect you with the coach. Now, once we've connected you with that coach will then give you a call and contact you or your mum or your dad or your parent or guardian. And once they've contacted your parent or guardian or yourself, they will then agree a time to meet with you. When they meet with you, what will then happen next is they will do a 1-hour call with you on a Zoom, and they will go through your strengths and weaknesses, and they will then identify your 5 objectives. Now, these 5 objectives are the foundations on how to make it as a professional football player. Now, if you're currently on the program and you're wondering, right, I've had my video sent in, I've had my PDF report back, I've actually had my Zoom call with the coach, what are the next steps? Because I've been given a list of objectives and I don't know what to do. So I'm going to show you what you do next. So this is the first portal call that you will need to go to. So the first thing you'll then need to do is have a little look at section 5, which is our match objectives. And we'll cover this in another video a little bit later on. But on here, you'll have your objectives. So you can see on the left, you've got scanning, you've got distribution and short passing, movement, securing the ball, and world-class pass. And you'll notice on these videos, I'm at some of the biggest clubs around the world. This particular day I was at PSG, a club I used to work for. Then we go back into the classroom and we want you to go to the how-to guide. Now, when you're on the how-to guide, you obviously really want to know how to do your match analysis and what you need to do next. So for the next part of your match analysis, once you've got your results and your objectives, if you click on football objectives, there's a video here that you can play, and it goes for about 6 minutes, and it's going to show you, once you've got your match objectives from that particular coach who's done your Zoom call with you online, then you can follow that how-to video. So hopefully everyone who's watching, that tells you a little bit more about the match analysis. Now, some of you might be wondering, what are the costs involved for the match analysis? So when you're on the full-time program, there's a cost to join us in the platform. And if you have a little look at the school, I will just actually jump back in and just go through it with you, because it's always worth to have a little look at. And once you have a little look, you'll see the costs for joining the program are on here. So you can join us for as little as $147 a month, or if you would like to, You can pay up front for an annual membership to join me, and you will get access for a whole year. But you're not just getting access to all of the coursework in here, you'd also get an access to me 2 to 3 times a week on live coaching calls as well. If you're serious about your football getting better, if you're serious about making it as a pro, if you want to go and play in the UK, Europe, or maybe you'd love to go on like a full scholarship to one of the big US colleges, then this will definitely be the program for you. So again, a big thank you for joining us. Hopefully that explains section 2 and a little bit about match analysis and tells you a little bit more. So whether you're on the program currently and you're a little bit lost, or you're thinking of joining the program and you wanted to find out a bit more about match analysis, hopefully I've explained it as best as I can. And again, a big shout out to all of our friends at GOAT for sponsoring this episode. And again, if you want to become an ambassador at GOAT, I've dropped it in the show notes below. It's info at goatselite.com. Also, the web address is up there, guys. If you want to have a little look at the website, you can. And you will see on the GOAT website, when you go in there, there's always different sales on. You can even get a special prize, guys. We have a birthday prize just for putting your birth date in and your email address. You will get one of the best prizes ever for your birthday, free of charge from GOAT. And also, by signing up, you actually get to join the Ambassador Club, but we'll also give you $10 off your first order as well. So a big thank you from me, Raymond Wood, at theraymondswood.com, and we look forward to seeing you on our next episode, and we're going to be back with section 3.
You don't bunch up, you don't get sweaty. Simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my GOAT grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Ghost Grip, they stay cool and dry from start to finish.
These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. I used to wear bulky guards that slip down every game. They stay in place the whole time.
These shin pads are stretchy, durable, definitely not be ripping anytime soon.
Switch to GOAT sleeves now. You don't slip, you don't slide. Nice and snug, nice and tight.
It's crazy how light these things are. I've worn a lot of old school pads in my time. You don't bunch up, you don't get sweaty. Simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my GOAT grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Ghost Grip, they stay cool and dry from start to finish.
Big thank you for joining us, guys. So we're here to showcase the professional player pathway, and we're going to take you through some of the pillars. But before we do that, I just want to say a big shout out and a big thank you. You can probably see it above. We have our sponsors, goatselite.com. They've sponsored not only all of these episodes, but also GOAT Elite. We're currently looking for ambassadors. So if you are a football player, if you are a mum and dad, if you want to earn some extra cash on the side, goatselite.com are looking for ambassadors. Basically, in short, you'll be given heaps of free stuff from GOAT Elite, and I'm going to showcase to you in a second a little bit about some of the stuff that you'll see from GOAT Elite. There's currently a sale on there at the moment. Once you're part of GOAT Elite, we will add you as an ambassador, and we give you a code, and you can basically earn cash in your pocket for every referral code you pass on. So if you want to get some free GOAT gear, and also you want to earn yourself some extra cash, again, this is for mums and dads, players, any players who are under the age of 18, you can become an ambassador as well, but your mum or dad or parent or guardian will need to complete all the paperwork, and we can get you up and running, and you can become a GOAT ambassador. How cool is that? Now, what I'm going to share with you today is a little bit about our professional player pathway. This is our program that we work on, and we help boys and girls all around the world make it as a player. My name's Raymond Wood, one of the highest qualified coaches under UEFA, and I'm also a player agent and a player progression specialist. So without a second wasted, I will take you straight through to one of our other screens, and you'll be able to have a little look across here, and we are going to be having a little look at today on our classroom screen. When you are a full-time member of the Professional Player Pathway, you will get access to all of this. So you'll notice we've got a start here guide, we've got the how-to guide, and then it rolls on all the way through. Today's little mini section that we're going to talk about is number 1, which is the book, the audio, and the ebook. So I will click inside here and just showcase what you'll get when you come in. So you'll notice that you've got access to the book. Now, when you're a member of the Professional Player Pathway program, it's super important that you actually read the book or listen to the book. So we've got it in 2 ways you can get it. You can get it via our download link, and you can get a free download of the ebook once you are a member of the Professional Player Pathway. Also, I'll walk you through in a moment how you can actually do the audio book as well. So if you don't like reading books, but you like listening to things like podcasts and audio books, you can listen to it as well. Now, inside this book, it's just over 100 pages long. It's not a huge book, but I basically take you through the 7 or 8 pillars on how to make it as a professional football or soccer player, no matter where you are in the world. This is one of the first most important parts that you go to. So when you come in to our app, and this is the app that you're looking at now, you'll be able to access this app from your desktop, but also from your phone or your device as well. And these are all the different elements that you're going to get access to. But today's topic that we're covering is how you navigate around the ebook and also the audio book. So if you want to get your hands on the audio, on the ebook, all you need to do is click on the link here. It will then take you to my website, and then basically it will ask you to fill out the details. If your information checks out and you're part of the program, it'll allow you to get a free copy of the book, and away you go. You are up and running. Now, you might say, not interested in the book. I'd love to just get on to the audio book. So if we come onto the audio book, you can click on here, and you'll notice that we've got all the chapters put into you. And it's a case of just clicking on one of the chapters. The Professional Player Pathway, from Grassroots to Glory, Navigating the Pathway to Premier League Stardom by Raymond Wood. And as you would have just heard, then you can tell it's actually read and authored by myself. So you've got an opportunity to be able to listen to that. Also within the audio book and ebook, we've got a couple of short videos from ex-famous Premier League superstars, and I'll just play them through for you to have a little listen. Hi guys, now the Professional Player Pathway program that we run for players aged 8 years of age and older, we have 7 pillars to the program. Now John, some of the pillars that we work on are GPS, match analysis and nutrition. Which is an important one to you and why?
Well, of course, they're all important, but for me, which is probably something we didn't do when I played, was nutrition. Because, of course, when I played, you ate what you wanted, you drank what you wanted, whereas now, what you put into your body to refuel, eating healthily, as well as drinking properly, is probably the most important thing.
Amazing. So listen up to these top tips from the Professional Player Pathway. So for anyone who doesn't know, that's John Barnes. He's ex-England and Liverpool legend, and he played for Liverpool for over 7 years, winning multiple titles. Also, maybe a more familiar face from more recent day is Michael Owen.
As players, you need to remember to read the Pro Player Pathway book and follow the 7 pillars listed in the book provided by Raymond as part of your program. Remember, this book is the key to your success. Good luck, guys. All the very best for the future.
So what's really important is, guys, is when you read through the book or you actually listen to the book, you're going to get a little bit of a better understanding of the Professional Player Pathway and the program. I always encourage mums and dads, boys and girls around the world, no matter where you're based, whether you're in Australia, New Zealand, North America, South America, Europe, the UK, wherever you are in the world, I always encourage you to download the book, get the book, and get access to the audio book and have a listen and have a read. I basically line up my 25 years of working in the Premier League, where I was very, very fortunate to work with some of the biggest players on the planet. I was a coach for just under 20 years, and I worked on one of football's biggest projects called the EPPP. The EPPP was a project where the English FA and the Premier League wanted to reform all of the academy systems in England and in turn basically develop more world-class superstars for both of the men's and women's England teams. Since we kicked off that project, they've spent just in excess of £2 billion. So as you can tell, a lot of money to produce their programme. What results have come out of the EPPP? Well, the current women's and men's England team that you currently see is littered now with superstars. One of the problems that we had many, many years ago, we always had one or two real standout world-class players, but I think if we were honest, it was not littered with the squad of full international superstars. I think now if you look at, say, for the women's team, they've won the Euros 2 times in a row. They made the World Cup final, losing out to Spain narrowly. The men's have won everything at under 20s and under 23s, World Cups, Euros. The men's team have gone on to the finals of the Euros and semi-finals of the World Cup. And my big belief is in 2026, England men's team will win the World Cup in the US of A, which is exciting. So part of the professional player pathway program, you get to work with me and you get to be coached by me online 2 to 3 times a week. But it's a lot more than just an ebook and an audio book. As you're going to find in our next episode, if you like this episode, we're going to walk you through each of the pillars of the professional player pathway, where we'll look at things like GPS tracking, match analysis, and much, much more to go in there. Also, one of the big things, if you want to reach out to me, guys, you can go to our partners website, Goats Elite, and we've got some fantastic stuff on there at the moment. So we've built our sports equipment Goats Elite company to help us fund the professional player pathway to either make it free or as cheap as possible for players to join us. Also, if you do want to reach out to me and you're interested to meeting with me in a one-to-one session online with your mum, dad or yourself, go to theRaymondWood.com and there's a booking link on there and you can book to meet with me. So that's the first section of the professional player pathway program and the app that I've just walked you through. So the first element of the program is the audio book and also is the ebook. And I hope, guys, if you are interested, you will absolutely love it. Drop me a DM in the comments. If you want to drop me an email, you can. It's raymond@proplayerpathway.com. I'll leave that in the show notes for you below. But also, guys, you can go to theRaymondWood.com up here and you can drop me a contact message within there. I look forward to seeing you at this next episode. And remember as well, guys, a big shout out to everyone at Goats Elite, our partners who sponsor this channel and what's in here. They produce things like grip socks, the ultimate shin guards. We've got breathwork strips. There's all sorts of stuff that Goats Elite have got for our players, and not just for football or soccer players, but we have stuff for all different sports and brands. If you want to get your hands on some of this stuff for free, and also you want to become an ambassador to earn money for free, then basically all you need to do is, guys, is either drop us an email. It's info@goatselite.com, or the best thing to do is if you go to goatselite.com and you can drop us a message through there, guys. I hope you enjoyed that mini section, and we'll be back very soon with our next section.
You don't bunch up, you don't get sweaty. Simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my Goats grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Ghost Grips, they stay cool and dry from start to finish.
These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. I used to wear bulky guards that slip down every game. These stay in place the whole time. These shin pads are stretchy, durable,
definitely not be ripping anytime soon.
Switch the goat sleeves now. You don't slip, you don't slide. Nice and snug, nice and tight.
It's crazy how light these things are. I've worn a lot of old school pads in my time, and these are featherweight and super comfortable.
Legend begins where heroes end.
Why are you still wearing those old clunky shin pads when you could be wearing these?
I used to struggle with shin guards sliding all game. These are a game changer. Put them on, you don't even notice them. They're comfortable, keep you going until finish.
It shows how fast you move on the pitch because it's stuck to the shin bone and does not slip and slide all around your shin.
No distractions, no readjusting, just focus on the match. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material's soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there. But they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom.
You don't bunch up, you don't get sweaty. Simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my Goats grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Ghost grips, they stay cool and dry from start to finish.
These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there. But they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. I used to wear bulky guards that slip down every game. These stay in place the whole time.
These shin pads are stretchy, durable, definitely not be ripping anytime soon.
Switch the goat sleeves now. You don't slip, you don't slide. Nice and snug, nice and tight.
It's crazy how light these things are. I've worn a lot of old school pads in my time, and these are featherweight and super comfortable.
Legend begins where heroes end.
Why are you still wearing those old clunky shin pads when you could be wearing these?
I used to struggle with shin guards sliding all game. These are a game changer. Put them on, you don't even notice them. They're comfortable, keep you going until finish.
It shows how fast you move on the pitch because it's stuck to the shin bone and does not slip and slide all around your shin.
No distractions, no readjusting, just focus on the match. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material's soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there. But they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material's soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance. The first thing I notice is that these guards don't move. Once they're in place, they stay there. I can tackle, sprint, or slide without adjusting them. You feel secure and locked in. My first impressions of the Goats guards, honestly, super light and super clean. Straight away, you can tell they're built to move with you. No bulk, just sleek protection that actually feels pro. These guards don't move. The first thing I notice is that these guards don't move. Once they're in place, they stay there. I can tackle, sprint or slide without adjusting them. You feel secure and locked in. No bulk, just leak protection that actually feels pro. My first impressions of the GOAT's guards, honestly, super light and super clean. Straight away, you can tell they're built to move with you. No bulk, just leak protection that actually feels pro. These grips actually help you push off. It's like every bit of power goes straight to the ground. No slip, no wasted energy. You feel sharper, quicker, and more connected. It's a proper level up. I can't believe my Ghost pack has arrived. My first impression of the GOAT's grips, honestly, clean design and a premium feel. Straight out of the pack, you can tell they're built different. Soft stretch and solid grip panels. They just feel like performance gear, not regular socks. These grips actually help you push off. These grips actually help you push off. It's like every bit of power goes straight to the ground. No slip, no wasted energy. You feel sharper, quicker, and more connected. It's a proper level up. Straight out of the pack, you can tell they're built different. I can't believe my Ghost pack has arrived. My first impression of the GOAT's grips, honestly, clean design and a premium feel. Straight out of the pack, you can tell they're built different. Soft stretch and solid grip panels. They just feel like performance gear, not regular socks. These grips actually help you push off. These grips actually help you push off. It's like every bit of power goes straight to the ground. No slip, no wasted energy. You feel sharper, quicker, and more connected. It's a proper level up. I can't believe my Ghost pack has arrived. My first impression of the GOAT's grips, honestly, clean design and a premium feel. Straight out of the pack, you can tell they're built different. Soft stretch and solid grip panels. They just feel like performance gear, not regular socks. These grips actually help you push off. It's like every bit of power goes straight to the ground. No slip, no wasted energy. You feel sharper, quicker, and more connected. It's a proper level up. No bulk, just leak protection that actually feels pro. My first impressions of the GOAT's guards, honestly, super light and super clean. Straight away, you can tell they're built to move with you. No bulk, just leak protection that actually feels pro. These guards don't move. The first thing I notice is that these guards don't move. Once they're in place, they stay there. I can tackle, sprint, or slide without adjusting them. You feel secure and locked in. My first impressions of the GOAT's guards, honestly, super light and super clean. Straight Straight away, you can tell they're built to move with you. No bulk, just sleek protection that actually feels pro. The first thing I notice is that these guards don't move. Once they're in place, they stay there. I can tackle, sprint, or slide without adjusting them. You feel secure and locked in. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material is soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there. But they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material is soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance.
Why are you still wearing those old clunky shin pads when you could be wearing these?
I used to struggle with shin guards sliding all game. These are a game changer. Put them on, you don't even notice them. They're comfortable, keep you going until finish.
It shows how fast you move on the pitch because it's stuck to the shin bone and does not slip and slide all around your shin.
No distractions, no readjusting, just focus on the match. I used to wear bulky guards that slip down every game. These stay in place the whole time.
These shin pads are stretchy, durable, definitely not be ripping anytime soon.
Switch to goat sleeves now. They don't slip, they don't slide, nice and snug, nice and tight.
It's crazy how light these things are. I've worn a lot of old school pads in my time, and these are featherweight and super comfortable.
Legend begins where heroes end.
These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there. But they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling.
They don't bunch up, they don't get sweaty, simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my Goats grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Ghost grips, they stay cool and dry from start to finish. They don't bunch up, they don't get sweaty, simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my Goats grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Ghost grips, they stay cool and dry from start to finish.
These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there. But they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. I used to wear bulky guards that slip down every game. These stay in place the whole time.
These shin pads are stretchy, durable, definitely not be ripping anytime soon.
Switch to goat sleeves now. They don't slip, they don't slide, nice and snug, nice and tight.
It's crazy how light these things are. I've worn a lot of old school pads in my time, and these are featherweight and super comfortable.
Legend begins where heroes end.
Why are you still wearing those old clunky shin pads when you could be wearing these?
I used to struggle with shin guards sliding all game. These are a game changer. Put them on, you don't even notice them. They're comfortable, keep you going until finish.
It shows how fast you move on the pitch because it's stuck to the shin bone and does not slip and slide all around your shin.
No distractions, no readjusting, just focus on the match. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material is soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material is soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance. The first thing I notice is that these guards don't move. Once they're in place, they stay there. I can tackle, sprint, or slide without adjusting them. You feel secure and locked in. My first impressions of the GOAT's guards, honestly, super light and super clean. Straight away, you can tell they're built to move with you. No bulk, just sleek protection that actually feels pro. These guards don't move. The first thing I notice is that these guards don't move. Once they're in place, they stay there. I can tackle, sprint, or slide without adjusting them. You feel secure and locked in. No bulk, just sleek protection that actually feels pro. My first impressions of the GOAT's guards, honestly, super light and super clean. Straight away, you can tell they're built to move with you. No bulk, just sleek protection that actually feels pro. These grips actually help you push off. It's like every bit of power goes straight to the ground. No slip, no wasted energy. You feel sharper, quicker, and more connected. It's a proper level up. I can't believe my GOAT's pack has arrived. My first impression of the GOAT's grips, honestly, clean design and a premium feel. Straight out of the pack, you can tell they're built different. Soft stretch and solid grip panels. They just feel like performance gear, not regular socks. These grips actually help you push off. These grips actually help you push off. It's like every bit of power goes straight to the ground. No slip, no wasted energy. You feel sharper, quicker, and more connected. It's a proper level up. Straight out of the pack, you can tell they're built different. I can't believe my GOAT's pack has arrived. My first impression of the GOAT's grips, honestly, clean design and a premium feel. Straight out of the pack, you can tell they're built different. Soft stretch and solid grip panels. They just feel like performance gear, not regular socks. These grips actually help you push off. These grips actually help you push off. It's like every bit of power goes straight to the ground. No slip, no wasted energy. You feel sharper, quicker, and more connected. It's a proper level up. Can't believe my Goats pack has arrived. My first impression of the Goats grips, honestly, clean design and a premium feel. Straight out of the pack, you can tell they're built different. Soft stretch and solid grip panels. They just feel like performance gear, not regular socks. These grips actually help you push off. It's like every bit of power goes straight to the ground. No slip, no wasted energy. You feel sharper, quicker, and more connected. It's a proper level up. No bulk, just sleek protection that actually feels pro. My first impressions of the Goats guards, honestly, super light and super clean. Straight away, you can tell they're built to move with you. No bulk, just sleek protection that actually feels pro. These guards don't move. The first thing I notice is that these guards don't move. Once they're in place, they stay there. I can tackle, sprint, or slide without adjusting them. You feel secure and locked in. My first impressions of the Goats guards, honestly, super light and super clean. Straight away, you can tell they're built to move with you. No bulk, just sleek protection that actually feels pro. The first thing I notice is that these guards don't move. Once they're in place, they stay there. I can tackle, sprint, or slide without adjusting them. You feel secure and locked in. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material is soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material is soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance.
Why are you still wearing those old clunky shin pads when you could be wearing these?
I used to struggle with shin guards sliding all game. These are a game changer. Put them on, you don't even notice them. They're comfortable, keep you going until finish.
It shows how fast you move on the pitch because it's stuck to the shin bone and does not slip and slide all around your shin.
No distractions, no readjusting, just focus on the match. I used to wear bulky guards that slip down every game. These stay in place the whole time.
These shin pads are stretchy, durable, definitely not be ripping anytime soon.
Switch the Goat sleeves now. They don't slip, they don't slide, nice and snug, nice and tight.
It's crazy how light these things are. I've worn a lot of old school pads in my time, and these are featherweight and super comfortable.
Legend begins where heroes end.
These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling.
They don't bunch up, you don't get sweaty. Simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my Goats grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Goat grips, they stay cool and dry from start to finish.
Hi everyone, a big thank you for joining me at the Raymond Wood podcast. We're super excited. Now you're probably looking as well at one of my guests, because one of my guests, Matt, was with us a couple of weeks ago and he's back again. And we've also got Paul Merritt with us as well. So Paul and Matt, how are you guys?
Good, Ray. How you going, mate?
Yeah, very, very good.
Very well, mate. Very well.
So we obviously spoke with you guys about a year ago and was really intrigued. And one of the problems that I seen in the game of football, soccer, as we call it here in Australia, was all around athletes, planning post-careers, and also basically trying to help athletes secure the futures. And then when obviously you told me a little bit about Merit Sports and what you're doing. But before we get into that, I'd love it if you just maybe give me both a quick little 1 minute overview of who you are, what you do, and how you've ended up to come into form Merit Sports. So we'll probably start with you, Paul.
Yeah, thanks, Ray. Yeah, look, I've been in the property game for 36 years, and you know I'm third generation real estate, and I've done land, I've done building, I've done retail building, and now I'm in that wholesale space, helping people with investment properties. And my specialty is house and land packages, so land and new builds, and you know what I've seen and learnt over the last couple of years is, for me personally, is watching people build wealth through property and how that's exciting to them, but also to me, because I'm trying to help people build that wealth by buying multiple properties, not just one or two, and because I've got a bit of a sporting passion like you, I'm a bit of a sporting nut. I wanted to work out how I could combine those two passions, and over time, you know, I've read reports where you've got athletes that, you know, some have been successful in life after sport, and what they've done while they've been playing professional sport, but there's obviously a lot of stories that you read where people have finished the sport and they don't know what to do next. They've got no money, they don't know what to do next, and then struggle in life. And I thought I need to somehow tap into that as well, and get involved, and trying to work out how me as an individual contact sporting people who don't know who I am. Was the next step that I thought I needed to work out how I would do that. I've known Matt on and off for the last sort of 10 or 15 years, and bumped into Matt a year or so ago, and just sort of said to him, "This is what I'm thinking about. You know, would you be interested in sort of coming on board and joining me with this journey?" And he was like, "Yep, I'm in," and off we go.
Matt, a little bit about your background, if anyone hasn't seen my last podcast with you on.
Yeah, mate, very fortunate and to be a professional athlete in rugby league for 10 years with the Brisbane Broncos, also representing Queensland and Australia along my journey. So debuted in 2010, and then I was medically retired in 2019 due to a shoulder injury. So yeah, coming up to 5 years, almost retired now. I've had a hell of a time in my footy career, and you know, I wish I could still be playing, but you know, life goes on, and yeah, now married with 3 kids and enjoying life, and you know, something, you know, that I'm passionate about and yeah, looking forward to is, you know, partnering with Paul and in Merit Sports, and you know, guiding these athletes and you know, to something that they can build. You know, their vision might not be there when they're 19 or 20 to have a family and be supporting kids that are going through school and set themselves up outside of their chosen sport. So, you know, coming with Paulie and, you know, building something that we think, you know, is quite unique for us to pair together. And, you know, I've been in the bubble as an athlete, and I know what, you know, people come across you and they want to pull you in this direction, that direction. They want a little bit out of you. You know, something that we've created that's going to be out there for athletes to come into a safe environment, a trusted environment to, you know, hopefully and eventually set them up for life out of sport. So very much looking forward to that journey. You know, I think you've got something, again, very special and unique that we can offer to athletes.
Amazing. Just to clarify, I'm pretty sure it is, but this is support for all athletes, no matter the sport or codes you play, and that's correct?
Correct. Yeah, correct. That's it. Yeah, we want to help any athlete across all sports. Obviously, Matt's rugby league, but you know, we've been talking to people that are playing AFL at the moment. We're talking to a lady who's a Olympic athlete. And we've got some contacts, obviously, through soccer with yourself and other sports. So, yeah, across all sports, we're here to help.
Yeah, I think what excited me the most was when I was a coach, and then when I first met with you guys and you were telling me about the idea, and it was like, I think personally you're solving one of the biggest problems in sport. And I think it all stems down to one thing. I think it's education, and the lack of education, in a sense of start planning now whilst you're an athlete, and then you're going to be right for the future, because the amount of, I think I gave you the story, but I won't mention names, but he was an ex-professional who was at the top of his game in the Premier League. Unfortunately, through personal circumstance, went through a few divorces, which meant every time you get divorced, there's a split of money. And he got to the end of his career. He was sustaining a life where he was earning £40,000-50,000 a week. Once that money stops coming in, he kept that lifestyle, and pretty quickly his money run out. And it's so sad to see, and there's many examples, and not just males but females as well, in football and in soccer, and I'm sure it goes on in rugby league and union and everywhere. And I think what you've stumbled upon here, the idea, I think it's genius, because I think it's so needed.
Well, we want to sort of grow that further, because education's one thing, but mentorship is another. Both in sporting life and life in general. Everyone's got parents and friends that they can fall on, but if they want to talk to someone outside of that bubble, because you've got your professional sports bubble, and then you've got your inner circle bubble of friendship and family, if you want to explore something a bit further and just have a general chat about life, that's what we're here to do as well. That's part of why we've got Matt here from a sporting mentor point of view and life, and I'm here from a property mentorship and life, so we're trying to build on that as well.
Queensland, from a sporting point of view, there's no bigger pinnacle, and then from your background with like the real estate and the advice around the finances, it's a win-win. And I think people are going to look at it, and they always will, they'll go, who actually runs the company, who's involved? And I think when they see your background and your acumens, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, and I think I played 4th division in rugby union too. So yeah.
We'll look for those highlights.
You probably won't find any of that on YouTube. That's for sure.
Yeah, just back to what Paulie sort of said before. It's it's you need to disconnect from what you're doing, and as an athlete, you need to have your time, your downtime, a focus away from your chosen sport. And I think coming into our environment, you're going to feel that of I'm in a direction where I can sort of see, and that, like Paul said, that's our job, to educate them at a young age and trying to get them thinking that way. It's not saying we're just dealing with those younger age groups. It's never too late to start building some wealth, but it's important to get the kids that are coming out of school. They're obviously highly talented and they're into a system, whether it's league, cricket or soccer. To educate them, have those conversations, and try and think about what life looks like in 10 years and how they want to be set up. Do they want to go out and do a 9-to-5 job and digging holes, or do they want to set themselves up so they can have some flexibility and probably choose a bit more of what they want to do after their sport? So it's definitely important to have those conversations early and just keep reiterating what we're here to do.
Yeah. Paul, for you, I've thought about this, and I can see from an athlete's point of view, a lot of athletes might be a little bit scared to maybe reach out, and they're going to think, how much is this going to cost me, or what's the effort levels? But I think, do you agree, the financial literacy has got to be part of the athlete's journey?
Yeah. Look, I mean, as a normal buyer's agent would have a sign-on fee, if you want to engage them. I get paid by the builders, and so I don't charge anybody any money. So my success is based on doing the business. That's the first and foremost.
Amazing.
The journey that we take the athletes on is there's no pressure. We'll sit down and have a coffee, and we've just done this recently with a young player, and his parents came along too, and we're very supportive of that as well, because this journey we're all involved, and we talked about what we do and how the process works, and there's no obligation for them to go any further if they don't want to. We're here to help them, but it's their choice. And so we will advise and educate on what the steps are, and they've got to take those steps. And we'll nicely say this is what you've got to do, but there's no pressure. We're here to hold hands, and if that takes a couple of years of chatting and they finally decide that they want to do something, no problems. That's the way we do it.
When they reach out to you guys, Matt, you and Paul, what's like the first sort of step or process with you? Do they log online and register interest? Is there a one-day course? Is it an informal meeting? How does it work? Like if we've got athletes out there watching, because I know through my background in UEFA as an agent and as an ambassador, I've got thousands of players who are following me, and I've spoken to a few of them about this, so they're really keen to engage. How would they engage with you to kick it off?
Well, there's plenty of obviously Paul and myself through our socials, and to reach out and follow Merit Sports AU online, and maybe reach out through there or through my personal account as well. I've got a profile there on Instagram as well. There's our website that's running as well, but yeah, just reaching out is the first thing, and then it's just a matter of catching up, making some time. Whether that's through an online meeting or it's a coffee down at the local coffee shop. It's it's important to catch up, understand what they're thinking, and obviously they're going to have questions about the whole scenario. So it's just important to catch up and have those conversations and get to know them. First and foremost, it's not we're here to build something. We're not here to sell you a product that one hit wonder. We want to help you and guide you and build your wealth, not just go looking for something and get rid of you. It's about building the relationship first and
over longer term.
Longer term. And
I think the face-to-face, whether it's in person or online, is very important, because you get to see what the person looks like and see the colour of their eyes, and that to me is very important to, as part of that, building that rapport and understanding and trust with an individual.
Yeah,
absolutely, 100%.
Just to also, like, obviously we've got athletes all around the world. Are you guys willing to work with athletes no matter where they're based, or have they got to only be Australia based? Or
well, if they're Australian, that's all that matters, because if they are Australian and they want to invest in property, then obviously we're talking about Australian property. So wherever they are based is no issue for Matt and I, and we're happy to go and visit them in England or America, or wherever they are. That's not a problem either. But we're here to help all athletes. Whatever sport, whatever part of the world they're playing in.
Yeah. Is there any plans further down the line where you might be able to help people who aren't Australian? Like, say, like you've got an English athlete through one of my contacts who are really interested in getting educated around how they could build some more wealth for the family and purchase properties. Is that going to be something you might look at further down the line? Or
yeah, potentially. I mean, it'll just come back to where we do that, because there's obviously rules in Australia about buying in Australia, and there are some countries that can do that with the right criteria, and then there's some that don't. And so that'll be something down the track that we will look at and consider.
Yeah,
who knows?
Amazing. Now, Matt, obviously for you coming from like the NRL and being at the top game and then having to come out of that and then go into like the business side of it, how did you find that transition? Was it easy? Was it hard? And would there be any tips that you would maybe give any current athletes, no matter the level of playing at, on how you transition into the business world?
Yeah, mate, it's obviously, something, sort of my journey coming. I worked for 3 or 4 years before I made it to the NRL and got my debut. So I was a fencer before rugby league, so get out there and dig some holes and put some post in and mix some concrete. So very hard job, but that's work ethic. That's probably what got me to where I was. I worked very hard to succeed and eventually got the reward of playing NRL for 10 years. So I think along your journey, it's about actually sitting down and thinking about what you want to do. Whether you're at the club, the Broncos, you're at the Raw, you're Cricket Australia. Sitting down with people in that organisation and asking them about what do you see that I could sort of do, or asking the questions that what should I be setting up for myself, life after sport. It's very important. I was pretty lucky that, or not lucky, I was medically retired due to a shoulder injury, but I got to experience a bit within the club. I did some corporate work. I did some ambassador, game development, charity work as well. So I covered a lot in the 3 years that I was medically retired for in the club. So it got me a bit of a feel, and that's like anything when you're going through your career. It's going out and seeing if you like to dig holes. Or
Yeah.
it's it's like if you want to be a nurse,
What's the answer to that?
Oh, don't do it. Gives you bad shoulders. I think that's where I come from. Digging too many holes before I played, and but yeah, it's just getting those life experiences while you can, while you got the time, a lot of spare time as an athlete, or especially in the rugby league world, to set aside some time to put yourself out there and go tag along. But again, I think meeting the right people. Obviously, known Paul for a while, but we really connected after I finished, and we've created Merit Sports and a few other friends that I've met through the kids going to school together. That are in business, that are reaching some massive goals with themselves, and just learning off them, the conversations. You surround people, you're hearing the same things over and over again, so it slowly sinks in. But again, I think it's that group that Paul touched on before about disconnecting from your sport and then going outside and reconnecting with a different group that that are there for the right reasons to help you. Yeah.
I think what I'm touching on there is, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and it was taking yourself out of that comfort zone sometimes and going into maybe an area that you wouldn't be comfortable in, but then actually after a few days and a few weeks, you start to feel a bit more comfortable in there, don't you? And feel like you belong there as well.
Oh, I think so, yeah. I think, like you just said, mate, the more you're around it, the more you're going to understand and the lingos and the way that people talk and present and, about that conversation and, picking up little things. And we picked up a little thing before our meeting here today, which is a bit educational there. But, it's just those little things, you never know who you're going to bump into or who you're going to talk to or what path it's going to lead you down. And the more you put yourself out there as an athlete, and, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah. Paul, for you, obviously being a real estate expert and being in the game for so long, what triggers you all of a sudden to really want to help athletes? All of a sudden, where did that come from?
Well, it hasn't been an overnight thing. It's something that I've been thinking about for a while, actually. Probably about 10 years, to be fair.
Wow.
And but just sometimes I like to think about things maybe a bit too long. But I thought about what's the benefit of me doing this? What's the benefit of a player or an athlete, listening to me?
Yeah.
And so, that's taken a few years to really formulate in my brain. Yeah. And I think the key to it was getting Matt on board, because Matt adds a level of professionalism to what we're doing, because he's been in the bubble, he's now out of the bubble. He's played the sport at the highest level, and I think for him and I, I'm only slightly older than Matt, as you can tell.
Mate, got some greys coming.
But we've got a real good connection together, and we're both married and family men, and we've got kids that are playing similar sports, and so there's a real good connection for us, and that was a key for me to help grow and build that business.
Yeah.
But mate, it's been in the brain and on the drawing board for a few years.
A long time. Yeah, that's good. Matt, I know we did touch on this a little bit last time, but I want to retouch on it again. I think it's an important one. But why do you think so many athletes, even maybe in rugby league, struggle so much financially after retirement? Is there one thing that you can really pinpoint on, or do you think it's a culmination of things?
It's just not having the right people in your corner, mate. Whether it's it's mum and dad, or it's your best mate, it's your uncle, or whoever it is in your corner at the time. For me now, being outside, and all I want to do is help athletes to set themselves up. You do put yourself or put the body through a lot. People probably don't understand what you actually do go through as an athlete, and especially a contact sport and injuries, and the pressures of being in the spotlight all the time. And for me, it was okay for me being in the spotlight. I was fine. I'm a pretty easygoing bloke. But, for some that, they come out of school and straight into their chosen sport, and they're plastered all over social media, the news, they're out there, they're looked at, they're under the pump from the media, from every little thing they do. So, again, it's just having the right people in your corner that you can trust, surround yourselves, you can bounce ideas off. We want to create that environment for them. I've, again, been there, done that. I've been in it. I know what it's like to, copper, some verbal abuse and some online abuse and everything else. But again, I was okay with that. It's part of my job. And yes, I didn't play, and yes, I dropped 2 balls or whatever it is. Made some mistakes, but life goes on. But again, I think, definitely getting them to a young age. And, some, like I said, they come out of school, they're earning some good money. What are they doing with it? Are they just going to go waste it and buy a new car, buy the best clothing brand, clothes, shoes, whatever it may be, and not thinking about, they've got to think about their future and what they want to do. Yeah. It's not forever. I was a 10-year career, probably not many people, can play 10 years in rugby league, or, some people play for a year or 2 and they're out straight away. So it's about maximising what you can as an athlete to set yourself up, and it goes very quick.
It goes very fast, doesn't it?
Yeah. Mm.
1 minute you're playing 4th division sport, and then the next
That's it, mate. Yeah, no.
Welcome to the Professional Player Pathway. If you've got a dream yourself or a dream for your child and you're going to move heaven and earth to make it happen, this pathway is a way for young football players like you to hone your skills and get your chance in Europe. Because talent is everywhere, but Europe is where football stars are made. So it's our job to get you there. But here's the kicker. Getting to the UK or Spain for academy trials isn't enough. You need to be good enough to get signed, which is why our programme focuses on the complete footballer: skills, mindset, nutrition and education. We prep you not just to be as good as the English and Spanish kids, but better. In our sessions, we're going to cover a lot of ground. What exactly is the Professional Player Pathway programme? How does it improve your game? What it actually takes to become a professional footballer? Who we are partnered with? And the most important is our success stories so far. Will you be next? Register below or contact us.
Paul, is there for you, like, being an avid sports person like myself, where, like, we're not necessarily we're players, like, we play for fun and socially, but is there any, like, early warning signs that you see when you think there's an issue here with this athlete financially, or there's a point in the career where you're starting to notice actually this is a bit of a problem for them?
Yeah, look, I haven't seen it firsthand, but you do read and see these things, and that was probably a driver for me, because I'm thinking, it's like anything, when you say, if I was in that position, I would be different, and I don't know for sure, but I suppose being that sounding board to say, look, you are privileged, and everyone knows that they are privileged, but I think sometimes when you get into that bubble, and Matt could probably talk more about this, but as an outsider looking in, when you're inside that bubble, outside of the bubble almost doesn't exist. And I suppose my view on that is to try and educate that you've got to look outside that bubble while you're in the bubble, because there's a lot of people out there that want a piece of every athlete for good or bad reasons, and so those athletes have got to be cautious about that. And once again, having Matt with me helps cement that we're in this for the right reasons.
Yeah, and to help.
Yeah.
Before we move back to Matt, just one of the things, it's probably an obvious question, but for some who aren't really aware of it, why is the focus point real estate? Why is it so important to people?
Yeah, look, there's pros and cons for doing anything financially, whether it is in cryptocurrency or real estate, and real estate could be industrial or commercial or residential, or it could be shares, or my vehicle is real estate, and the vehicle within that is residential, and then the vehicle inside that is house and land packages. I've been doing house and land packages now for quite a while, and I see the benefits in doing house and land packages. And from things like you only pay stamp duty on the land, you've got tax benefits on the new build, you've got a brand new product, so you've got less maintenance, you can get a better tenant, you can get a better rent. You're generally buying in areas that are growth corridors, whether they're master plan communities or big growth corridors. So that's my lane. That's what I really know, and I've seen the results and the successes of people who have done that, and so that's what I'm focused and passionate about.
Yeah. Matt, for you, as an athlete, whether you got an athlete who's 20 or 24 or whatever the age is, and they're saying, probably not for me, I'm too young to be thinking about this stuff. What's your advice to those athletes, and when should they start to plan and focus on the financial future?
I think straight away, mate. I think you even though you're probably not in the right mind frame, or you don't have the right people in your corner, or whatever it is, you should be thinking about it. Like I said before, you could be in the spotlight and you could last 1, 2 years, 12 years, 15 years. You're not sure when that end date is as an athlete. With, as we know, injuries do come into any sport there. So I think from day one it's definitely coming out of school, especially coming out of school and into a system. You've got to be thinking about the long term. It's so important. It's like I said before, it goes by so quick, and you're in that bubble. You're enjoying life. Everything's great. Everything's prepared for you. You don't have to think too much about where to be, what to wear, what to eat. It's all given to you. So you get stuck in that little bubble. So it's always, the earlier you can, switch that mind frame of actually thinking about where am I going to live, where's my wife, where's my 2 or 3 kids going to be, where are they going to school, what does life look like for them? Am I able to support mum and dad when I sort of finish and throughout my career? What am I doing now to set myself up? It's so important, and it's about education. Obviously, you're not going to go sit down with a 18, 19-year-old and they're going to go, yep, I'm straight away. That may happen, but it's about having those conversations and just, making sure they feel comfortable with, setting stuff up or putting things in place for the future.
Yeah, that's such good advice.
Yeah.
Paul, going back to you, in regards to, I can see this from an athlete's point of view, and Matt will probably get this as well, but I know one of the first questions he'll throw is, how involved have I got to be in this, and how much does it take of my time? Because your time's precious when you're an athlete. You've got to worry about your recovery, your training for the next day of your game. What does it look like from an involvement point of view for an athlete? Is it all self-managed for them, or have they got to...
Yeah, look, they can get involved as much as they want, but the beauty about what we do is we are controlling the process, which means I'm communicating with the athlete about where life is at.
Yeah.
And so as long as they're happy that they're getting that regular communication, and communication for me is big with regards to my dealings with the builder or the broker or whoever it might be. If I'm providing that communication, then I think the athlete can then focus on what they're doing. They don't need to be ringing me every day if they don't want to and saying, what's going on now? They don't need to do that. The main point for them is that when we're going through the process of building a house, there's obviously phases of the house that you've got to pay, and so there'll be times where they need to be communicating with their broker or the bank to release funds. But that's I get involved. I sort of guide them and say, okay, this is now due, and then I help find the property managers. I go to the handovers, no matter where they are in Australia, and so I'm making sure that the house is finished, it's up to scratch, and all the defects are done, and the property manager's there taking all the photos, and so they can ring me every day if they want to, or they can just trust the process.
Yeah. This one's probably both ways, whoever wants to have a go at answer, but have you seen any, whether it be with Merit Sports or with anyone else, where there's been some really good success stories, maybe some you've come across in the Rugby League Wales who's done really well, or have you seen any cases? And you could maybe talk on to some of the people watching and listening in. Yeah,
well, me personally, I've just had a client finish a house, and I think the uplift on that house has been $120,000.
Wow.
Just while the house is being built.
It's crazy.
And I think when we first did the deal, we had a rental appraisal at about $580 a week, and we've just rented the house out for $625 a week. Wow. So so that's been great for that person, and we're almost at the point now we're going, okay, where's the next one? Yeah. We've one of our Matt and my clients has bought a property in Melbourne, and he hasn't even gone to site. He's just gone to site, and he's already made 70 grand because the market's sort of moving already in that part of Melbourne, and so he's already ahead of the game. And so that's hopefully what I can achieve for a client, because I'm following market trends and, you know, where the growth is, and with my conversations with builders and developers and real estate agents, that's what I'm following right now. And so hopefully, you know, these guys are off to a good start, and we can just keep building on that. And if anybody hears what I'm saying, then hopefully they can be part of that process.
Yeah, it's a great testimonial. I mean, 70 grand, 120 grand before it's even built. That's an amazing success story.
Yeah,
it's amazing. You've had to have any like sort of tough conversations with any clients, like where you've got to be like always. How do you deal with them? And because I know what it's like as an agent dealing with players, but for you it must be even harder, because not only you got to deal with the athlete, but I could take it sometimes you have to deal with the agents as well. Sometimes potentially. Yeah,
look. Buying property and building houses, it's can be stressful, you know, because, you know, it's a financial commitment. It's a big financial commitment, and I've been doing this for a while, but someone's doing this for the first time, and so I'm very mindful of the fact that they are doing this for the first time, or they're not used to that process. So, you know, I've had clients who sometimes ring me every day. What about this? What about that? And no question is dumb. You know, I'm happy to answer any question. If I don't know the answer, I will find out the answer. So, and sometimes you've got to say to them, okay, you've done this wrong, or you've done this and you can't do that. So you've got to have those conversations, but that's all part of A, communication, and B, building that rapport as even more so, and trust with the client, because there's no point when you're building property, you can't fluff your way through it, because you're going to get caught out. And our job is to help them buy multiple properties. And if you have a bad time building one, then you're not going to get any more business from that client, and then they're going to tell other people about that process. So it's not what we want in life.
Yeah, it's not. Is there sort of from an athlete's point of view, Matt, and I'll give you an example, a great success story, and it'd be interesting to see if you know of any as well in the Rugby League world or anywhere, but there was a player who's actually played in Australia called Robbie Fowler, and he used to play for Liverpool, and he was earning around £20,000 a week. This was going back 20 odd years ago, and he had a very savvy agent who'd been involved in the real estate world, and he told him to basically commit half of his salary every week into investing into properties. And I remember the conversations that were coming back for a family friend, that like all his parents were saying, oh, you're being scammed out of money, this is not right, blah, blah, blah. But I think Robbie was glad he listened, because he was investing in properties in a place called Salford in Manchester. And they had wind that the Commonwealth Games was going to be there in 2006.
Yes.
And I think he made about £300 million off his property sales, and that was all real estate. Is there any good ones that you have seen, good cases of, or you've heard about in the sporting world in Australia, where you know of someone who's done really well outside of the code?
Well, I do know, I won't name names, but there's an ex-Bronco player who's been pretty savvy in buying real estate, both residential and commercial, and he owns all that property. He's never sold them, and he still is involved in the rugby league industry. But I don't think he really doesn't need to work.
Yeah,
to be serious.
A good place to be.
Yeah. But
for you, Matt, what are you most excited about over the next 12 to 24 months as you move forward with Paul and into Merit Sports? Is there one thing in particular that you're looking forward to, or is it a mixture of everything?
Yeah, obviously it's very exciting, mate, and looking forward to the mixture. But I think just getting out there and having these conversations and meeting different athletes, and I think just connecting with them first and understanding who they are and what their vision sort of looks like and where they want to be in life is probably most important, and to have those conversations. So I'm very excited about doing that, and meeting people from all walks of life and seeing how we can offer our support, and whether they come into Merit Sports and we continue that relationship, but just getting to getting out there, meeting different people is going to be, I'm very excited about.
It's exciting times.
It is. So it's, again, we're out there to be someone that's outside of the bubble, that to steer them in the right direction. That's what we're here to do, and it's, we're going to build some great relationships over the time, no doubt. It's just, again, very exciting to be here in the initial sort of start of it, because it's a long road ahead that I'm looking very much forward to.
I remember when I first met you guys and I went home that night and I was chatting to my 16-year-old daughter, and I get so excited with things, and I'm like, I keep finding these people and meeting these people who keep finding like complaints in the complaints department, but those complaints in the complaints departments are the things that can turn into $1 million business. But it's not about the money, it's about what you can do through making that money and how you can change people's lives. And I remember saying, like, Matt and Paul have unearthed a gem, and I've been saying this one for years.
Yeah.
I feel like they've robbed my idea, but I've got no background in real estate and I wasn't a professional athlete.
Yeah.
So I said I couldn't really go into it. I think for you, Paul, before we finish off, we've got a few minutes to go, but what's probably the one piece of financial advice you would give to any athlete who's starting out in a career, and maybe they've just signed a contract with the Broncos or with the Roar or whoever it may be? What would be the one piece of financial advice you give them?
Yeah, look, you go and sign a contract when you're a young player, and it's for some good money. It's about what you do with that money. It's all well and good when you're looking at your bank account going, I've made it.
Yeah.
But if you're 19 or 20, have you really made it? So my advice is, if you can, as a 19 or 20-year-old, like, think about when you're going to be 30 or 40, and where do you think you'll be in life? Because when you get to our age, we think about those sort of things, but they don't. And my key advice is that the younger generation, it would be great if they all were doing that, because then life for all those guys would be so much better in the long term. And you hear about guys who have done that, and they go, Robbie Fowler, so glad that I did that because of that reason. Yeah, for sure.
Matt, for you, whether it's sports or business related, maybe one mistake that you've made over the years that probably you wish you didn't, but maybe it'd be great advice for an athlete or for someone going into business?
I wish I kept. I have 4 properties that I sold at the time, and through my little journey. Purely that was just off me and the wife and our choice, and where we're at with life. Looking back, I wish I held on to them, but that's all right. It all ended up okay because of, we built our family home and on a bit of acreage out at Warner. So 3 beautiful kids and a lovely wife to support now. So it all ended up to that end goal of where I wanted to be, sort of at the back end of my career. But again, it's getting it early, actually thinking about what you want to do, because it does go very fast when you're in the bubble of a sport, surrounded by good people in that sport. But it's over, and then once it's done, it's done. It's you're not going to be earning that money again. Maybe you will, and there's a small percentage that go on and stay in the sport, and commentators or involved with the game, or whether it's athletics or soccer or rugby league. There's a small percentage that do stay on and still earn good money, but a lot of the other ones sort of fade off, and life goes on. So definitely having that vision of what will life look like for me when I'm 30, 40 years old.
Yeah, amazing. Paul, just to finish with you, we'll do one more, but in regards to like money as well, I can imagine there's a lot of athletes watching this going, well, I don't earn $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a week. I'm only earning $1,000. Is this something for everyone, or have you got to be earning big money to be involved in this from your point of view?
No, not at all. I mean, once again, it comes back to understanding where everybody's individual capacity is, because some people might say, I've got X amount of dollars in the bank, I'm ready, I've got a deposit, I'm ready to go. But they may not have the borrowing capacity to actually do something. So the first step that we always take with players or athletes, once we've built that rapport, is talking with a financial broker, whether it's ours or they've got their own, to understand what they can afford to borrow. And then we know if they can go to the next step, or if they're not ready yet, what is the roadmap to get to that level.
Yeah, brilliant. So if anyone wants to reach out to you guys, I'll obviously share all the information for all of our followers in the show notes. But if they wanted to reach out, how do they reach out to you? Is it Instagram, TikTok? Is it website? Or
Yeah, well,
TikTok.
the web.
On TikTok.
I don't know. What's
Not yet,
TikTok?
not
What's
yet.
TikTok? Anyway, no. Well, the website obviously has both Matt and my mobile phone numbers and email addresses.
Amazing.
We've obviously got our Instagram account, which is Merit Sports AU. So that's the way to do it.
Amazing.
Reach out.
Yeah, a big thank you both of you for joining me today, and I think you're going to be getting hands up from a lot of people when they see this, because I think it's so crucial. And I think looking back now, some of the athletes I've worked with, I think if we had someone like you guys around 10, 15, 20 years ago, I think people would be living a lot better life and enjoying it. So thank you for your time.
Thanks, Ray.
Thanks, Ray. Thanks for having us on, mate.
So a big thank you guys for joining us. We're going to be back in 2 weeks' time with our next episode at the Raymond Wood podcast. A big thank you. Remember to give me a follow and a like. Hi everyone, this is the Raymond Wood podcast. I am always super excited to do these podcasts, and I'm very, very excited to do this podcast because this is one that not only our players but also our parents are going to love. We have got Mr. Q Jallians. How are you, Q?
Oh, very yourself?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Now, most of you will know who Q is, but for those that don't, maybe some of those mums and dads who didn't grow up with football, we'll do a little bit of an introduction to Q. And Q was a professional football player of how many years, Q?
Almost 2 decades.
2 decades. And where was it you grew up, and where did you play your trade of football?
Growing up in Rotterdam in the Netherlands. Also playing on the streets most of my youth. So started playing since I was 5. Signed my first professional contract when I was 17 at Sparta Rotterdam. Had a spell for about 3 years in the first team. Then I got signed by Willem II. At that time, a high flight in the Netherlands. Played Champions League with them as well. Had a spell for about 5 years at Willem II. Then I got me a transfer to AZ Alkmaar, where I spent most of my career, 6 years. Won the championship of the Netherlands with them. Played Champions League with them as well. 50 plus EuroLeague games. So I had a very good time. Also at that time, won me a spot at the national team of the Netherlands. Played 10 games for the national team, and which brought me also to the World Cup. Had one game against Argentina. So yeah, overall, like the 2 decades of the high flights in football.
20 long years in football.
Yeah.
So the pinnacle of being an Olympian is getting to an Olympics.
Yeah.
I don't think people in Australia understand the pinnacle of being a football player is not only representing your country, which is like effectively being at an Olympics, but to play at a World Cup is for me like getting a double gold medal, regardless if you don't go on and win the World Cup. And we'll touch on that in a minute. I want to just start off a little bit before we go into what you're currently doing, and we're going to get into your mindset business, which I absolutely love. But just for our listeners and our followers, just take you back from when you first kicked the ball. So what age did you start playing, and who was like your big influence? Was it mum? Was it dad? Was it uncle, aunties?
So started when I was 5. My mom and dad always tell me like I was kicking things since I could walk, basically. And football was the thing for me. So my dad was the football player in the house. My mom was like the support, always brought me everywhere, every game, every session. But from my dad's side, his youngest brother played for the national team of Suriname, was the national team coach of Suriname. From my mom's side, I had a cousin who played for Ajax throughout his whole youth. He made it until the reserve grade team. So yeah, from both sides, like football's in the genes.
Football crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up with a lot of good friends in Liverpool in the UK, and it was
I've got a couple of good mates back there who just football just runs right through the family.
Yeah.
Like the 3 or 4 of them went on and played pro, 2 are now coaching at a high level, and it's funny that you have that football connection and community. At what age did you start to realise you were thinking, actually, I've actually got a good chance of making this? What age did it really come to you?
So around the age of 10, we kind of found out that I was a good player. So in the Netherlands, you've got like district football as well, where, let's say, for example, Northern New South Wales, you got selected for the Northern New South Wales team or for the New South Wales team. So I was selected for my region to play. And we played against like all the players that were part of the professional academies. And at that time, I just wanted to play with my mates. So I didn't really have the hunger to be part of a professional academy. So I kept playing on NPL level with my mates. But soon after playing with them, I joined like the senior squads when I was 14, 15. So I played first grade NPL, like the highest level of amateur level in Holland, when I was 15.
So that's a really interesting one, and we're going to touch on this. I'm so glad you mentioned it. So wait, you were 14 and 15 and you were playing senior football.
Yeah.
But that's not allowed, because that's not how you develop as a player. And that's what people tell everyone in Australia. And it's my biggest frustration, and I know you're privy to it down in New South Wales as well. One of the big things that we touch on is sometimes coming out the NPL system and playing in a divisional system, but playing up 3-4 age groups.
Yep.
So someone who's played professional football, has played Champions League, has been to a World Cup, for my listeners and for everyone in the football world in Australia, what's your take on, should you stay in your age group through every age group all the way through 18s and 23s, or do you believe you should be playing men's or women's football from the age of 14 and 15?
Yeah, 100%. For me, it's about the quality. Because in football, your quality will decide who you're going to play against. So if you're too good for your own age group, then for you to be tested, you need to step up an age group. I think a big difference in that is the way we grew up in Holland, playing on the streets. So when I grew up, I went to the courts every day after school. And on the courts, there are no rules. There's no age groups. So if you play against a bigger boy, faster boy, you have to figure out a system to beat him.
Yeah.
And that's how you kind of grow that mentality of whoever you're going to play against, I'm going to show you what I've got.
Yeah.
And that's how I grew up. So me playing against men was about testing myself. Yeah. And the only way to be tested is to play against better boys, better girls. Yeah. They are faster than you, stronger than you. So what are you going to bring up against them to first of all compete, but then you want to beat them. So you have to find ways into becoming stronger, faster, and that won't be able to manifest if you just play against weaker teams.
Yeah.
If it's your own age group and you just pass everyone, score 8-9 goals, that's no benefit to anyone.
Yeah. I'm so happy to have you on and to confirm that, because obviously from my background coaching in Europe, coaching in the Premier League and all the studies that we've done, it was shown that exactly that you don't want to be constrained into an age group. You need that challenge, but also playing against older boys or girls, it might take you 2 years to work that problem out. Mm. But it's like with anything, you don't get anything easy in life. You've got to work hard at it. And it's one of the big things, I think, if anyone's listening in, especially like the Federation, we've said many, many times, there's myself, there's you, there's 4 or 5 other guys who live in Australia who've worked at the top level, played at the top level, and have got so much information. You need to listen, because we're not here to poison the sport or make it a bad sport. It's coming from the right place, and it's coming from a love of football. And I've never actually explained my why and my reason why I work in the game of football. I wasn't an ex-pro, and I will reveal that in one of the future podcasts. It's a tough one to talk about, but my intentions are just to give players opportunities and develop them. And the only way we're going to develop the next Matildas and the next Socceroos to playing in the top leagues around the world is looking at some of these areas, like giving them an opportunity to play up age groups. There's too much subjective opinions about in football clubs. Nothing is objective driven. And we're the only ones in Australia who actually do anything remotely close to objective development and identifying players. So when you were going through the ranks of football and you were going through your age groups, is it 16 years of age in Holland when you signed like your first like pro scholarship, or what age group was it when you first signed like your pro papers?
So myself, I was 17 going on 18. I know there's a construct of, like in Holland, they call it like it's called like a fridge contract.
Yeah.
So it means kind of your assets are frozen until you become 18, I think.
Yes.
So you kind of have a contract, but not really.
Yeah.
So, but when you're 18, then that will kick in.
And that's your pro scholarship.
Yeah.
Yeah, in England, it's very the same. I remember when I was younger, I had friends who were playing pro and they were on what you called a YTS from 16 to 18. And then it was that offer of pro football. And it's still the same in the UK now, but it's now called the pro scholarship. And then hopefully at 18, you sign that pro contract, or the club has to release you. So when you were going through your academy and you were going through all your age groups and you were playing up ages, what was probably one or two of the, because we'll get onto it as well, that you are a coach now and you're coaching in Australia. What was one or two of the big things that you think, looking back in your youth career, that really helped you make it as a player? If you could touch on one or two of them areas for our listeners.
One of the most important things were my coaches. So in Holland, it doesn't really matter what you have accomplished in the game. So you can be the biggest player in Holland. I know, for example, Dennis Bergkamp, Jaap Stam, Mark van Bommel, everybody that played at top level, they will start their coaching at grassroots.
Yes.
Instead of just joining an A-League club, getting into seniors straight away. They all start at the grassroots. So the grassroots will benefit from somebody that has been there, has done that. So as a coach, it's to get the art of coaching. But then for the kids, like, imagine being coached by somebody that's played Premier League for most of his life, played World Cups, Champions League, and those are the ones teaching the grassroots kids.
Yeah.
Like, so for example, for me, my coach, what age was I? Maybe 11, 12. He was an ex-professional.
Yeah.
The one that brought me up to the MPL first grade team, he was an ex-professional, played for the national team, played the highest level of football. So those were people that understand football. And for them, it was football has no age. So I was good enough, so I was playing.
Yeah.
And that's the support you need as well, because if there were coaches or board members who don't know football, I would probably be in my own age group.
Yeah.
And wouldn't have got that opportunity of skipping ages, playing against men when you're 15.
Yeah.
So that was very important in my environment.
Yeah, it's so important, and it's again, it's so good to hear someone from your background and your experience to say that it's super important. So then moving on, you've then got your first pro contract, and what was the excitement levels like inside you as an 18-year-old when you've signed your first pro?
Like I said, I started playing football since I was 5.
Yeah.
So when you play on the courts, you always pretend to be one of the players.
Yeah.
And so who are you going to be today? Oh, today I want to be this one, or tomorrow you're another player. And as well as mates, like, we just played football all day.
Yeah.
So to be able to sign a pro contract at like a local professional team, like that's what you wanted to get. So yeah, everyone was buzzing, of course, like my mates, my family.
Yeah.
And for me, it was the opportunity to show myself.
So your first senior debut, who was it for? And did you start the game or did you come off the bench? And then what was that like as a player to feel that in front of a crowd?
So my debut, I just turned 18. It was for Sparta Rotterdam, an away game, and the coach I had at the time, he was my coach at the young squad as well. So it was an away game, and I didn't know anything about playing. And then suddenly you see your name on the board, and you're like, name is on the board. What's going on? And he's like, "Yo, mate, yeah, you showed yourself. I trust you. I believe in you. And today you're gonna play." So I kind of went into the first squad as a right fullback, but I was able to play midfield as well.
Yeah.
So that game I played against one of their big players who was a number 10. And I played as a number 6, and my job was to just take him out of the game. So wherever he went, I went. Like, he went to get the ball, went behind him. Yeah, so it was just man marking. And then their coach, because he couldn't get into the game, they kind of changed formations.
Yeah.
So instead of 2 strikers, they started to play with 3 strikers. So they changed systems, and from there I went on to play right fullback again. So yeah, great debut. Because like I said, as a young player, like, you just try to do your best, try to fit in, try to compete with your teammates. But then the coach having that trust in the young player, that's very important. And that's, to be fair, in Holland happens a lot, giving chances to young players.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way you're gonna learn.
Yeah, it is 100%. So, looking through your career, before we come up to our first ad break, we're just going to touch on this a little bit. Coach, who was the best coach you were ever coached by? And give me 1 or 2 of the takeaways of why he or she was the best coach.
I have a few, to be honest, but the top for me would be Louis van Gaal. Not only for myself, but also for the team. So there is, how would you say, like, people who don't know him and just see him in the press, see him in front of the camera, we have a certain opinion of him, which is not always positive. But for us as a team, he was just like a father figure.
Yeah.
Always there for the boys, always there for the team. If it was shit, he would tell you it was shit. If it was good, he would tell you it's good. So from a tactical point of view, when I had him at AZ Alkmaar, he already had coached Barcelona.
Yeah.
Ajax, won championships, won the Champions League, national team coach. So everything that he was trying to teach us, like how to read the game, how to read tactics, how to read opponents, counter movements against what opposition brings, believe in yourself, your mentality. Also outside of the pitch, how do you carry yourself? Because you represent the club at some stage. Like, how do you approach younger players? Like, all of those things were learning aspects for me.
Yeah.
During my career.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. You touched on a really important point, and a lot of people see players or coaches or anyone in life and have an opinion of people. And I've been one of them as well. People throw certain opinions at you, and they think they know you, but they don't know you. And it's so good that you touched on that people didn't really know or don't know who Louis van Gaal is. And I've been very fortunate to work with some coaches as well over the years. Like, I was very fortunate to spend a bit of time with Carlo Ancelotti at PSG. Coaches like Nigel Pearson, who was at Leicester City at the time, Sven-Göran Eriksson. And you see a lot of things in the press, unfortunately, especially in Europe. But when you get to know these people, you actually realise they're actually there for the right intentions. And a lot of people say they're only there for the money. And it's like, well, they're only getting paid the money because they've put hard work in at some point in their lives. You don't just walk in to become the coach of Barcelona.
Yeah, true. No, and as for Louis, for example, I'll give you a few examples. So from every player to staff member to lady at the reception, he would know everyone. He would know your family, he would know your kids, he would know the birthdays. And for me as a player, there was a time where So Asia, my oldest one, she had a bad night, like, so I didn't sleep, bad night. Rocked up at training in the morning, played like crap, and he just came up to me and said, Q, mate, what's going on? Like, you know, this is not you, something wrong. And I told him, yeah, my daughter's sick, had a bad night, didn't sleep, and he took me out of the session, sent me home. He said, take care of the little one, make sure you're ready for Saturday because I need you Saturday.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to come to training tomorrow because of the little one, skip tomorrow, but just make sure you're ready for the weekend because I need you on the weekend. And that was the kind of trainer he was.
And that's management, isn't it? That's being personable with someone and understanding that people have got other things going on. I was very fortunate to get to know a lady called Susan Whelan, and she's the chief exec of Leicester City Football Club. So she's in a very high-pressured role. But I'd say for me, one of her greatest qualities was she knew every staff member in that building, in that stadium, in that training ground. But not only that, she would talk to you for like 5-10 minutes. How are you? How's everything going? You're married, you got kids. She wanted to know everything. There's no surprise to me why people are successful in life, because they're the things that people don't see. They just see what gets printed in a newspaper. And yeah, it's really, really good to hear. We're just going to go to our first ad break, everyone who's listening in, and we're going to be back in a few minutes with more Q Jallians.
Would you one day like to be a professional football player? Would you like to be part of our pro player pathway? What is the pro player pathway? It's an opportunity for all Australian football players aged between 10 and 23 who want to join us to become the next professional football player. On the pro player pathway, you get to join me and my team free of charge to an event all around Australia. When you join me, we're going to teach you the secrets of football in Europe. And one day, maybe, you could be gracing the Champions League final. Guys, over the next 12 months, we're going to be coming around all the major cities of Australia. And when we come around all the major cities, we're going to be running our free events everywhere we go. So guys, what have you got to lose? Nothing. It's a free event. It's for boys and girls aged 10 to 23. And I'm going to teach you the secrets of becoming a top European football player. Oh, and one final thing. We're going to be giving away 20 scholarships to join me on this programme of a lifetime.
Hi everyone, welcome back to our second part of the Raymond Wood podcast. We've got Q Jallians with us now. We were just speaking a little bit of Q about your football career. We're going to go post-football career now. So what have you done since football and where are you currently located in the world?
So first thing that happened, first of all, staying in football, was academy director for the Newcastle Jets, technical director for Northern New South Wales football. So spend a little time in youth development, setting up programs, and things like that. But recently, I've set up a business as mindset coach for entrepreneurs. Not solely entrepreneurs, also athletes, but mostly entrepreneurs. And the reason why is I found throughout my career that my mindset and mentality were a big part of why I was able to stay at the highest level for almost 2 decades. And also coming to the knowledge that not everyone is blessed or fortunate with a mindset like that. So especially now with my belief of obligation and charity, of giving back, I want to help people who don't have that mindset or that kind of mindset to kind of overcome themselves and to be the best version of themselves.
That's amazing. That's a really interesting one to touch on. We touched on this in one of the previous podcasts that we've done with one of our other guests, and it was all around the people you're surrounded by in life tend to be the person you turn out to be. So do you think, looking back with your mindset, do you think because you were surrounded by such supportive people, and we will touch on, we did have a conversation yesterday over dinner over like mum and dad being a big sort of support for you, but also do you think the fact because you were thrust into that professional game, you had people like Louis van Gaal and all these really positive people around you, do you think they were the building blocks of mindset for you?
100%. Yeah, 100%. I also have to mention my wife. We've been together 38 years now. It's very important you mention the wife. So yeah, basically like before my professional career started, so she's been part of every step of my career. My mom and dad growing up. So one of the examples I have about the discipline, for example, is about my dad being 15 years of age, playing MPL 1. We had a family birthday on the Friday, late partying, had to train on a Saturday. And because of coming home late, being a young lad, like I was planning to sleep in. And I remember early morning, splash of cold water on my face. And I was like, what's going on? And my dad in front of me said, mate, you have to go train. I'm like, Dad, I'm tired, I can't. We had a party yesterday. He's like, mate, listen, I've got one rule. If you want to be a man at night, you'll be a man in the morning. Yeah. So pack your bags, get a shower, and hop off to training. So that was one of the first encounters for me on a discipline level of, if you want to go for something and put your effort into something, you have to have that discipline of keeping a high standard for yourself.
Yeah, that's so true. I remember I wasn't an athlete like yourself, but I remember Dad's rule in our house was like, you can go out on a Friday night and you can party all you want with friends and girls and all the rest, but you've got work at 8 o'clock in the morning. If you don't get into work for 8 a.m., don't come back home. You can move out and you can go and live somewhere else. And it was a good discipline that he employed in me and my brother, and it's one that I'd never forget. So you're living and based down in Newcastle, just on the outskirts of Sydney. Yep. You've had roles with various football clubs, and you've now set up your mindset coaching business. And we had a great day yesterday at the Brisbane Roar, where we met with a few people, and we had dinner last night as well. And we were speaking about your mindset program and who you're working with. So you're working with entrepreneurs. Also, we're going to hopefully get you on board to work within our pro player pathway. So we've currently got coming up to about 150 athletes on there. So hopefully we can get you to come in and put some of them protocols in place. So in regards to you working with, say, entrepreneurs or successful business people, what is it you exactly offer for them? And if you could just talk us through some of those points.
So for example, I've created 8 pillars around mindset. And what we touched on just then about the discipline, that's one of my pillars. Because as an entrepreneur, wanting to grow your business, discipline will be your number one. Like what kind of discipline do you have? Because that will show throughout your business as well. Yeah. So my first thing with entrepreneurs is I have to assess your personal level of mindset. So what is your current mindset? Are you bound to a fixed mindset? Or are you on your way into having a growth mindset? Or maybe do you have a growth mindset already? Because that's gonna be very important for me to determine the rest of our trajectory. Because it's gonna be an individual journey. Yeah. So I don't have a package that I offer to everyone. Yeah. It's gonna be an individual one catered to the person I'm working with. Yeah. Because from the 8 pillars I've created, I have to see which.
Yeah, I love that. And it so links across into what we do with the Pro Player Pathway, that we designed the program because, again, we looked in the complaints department of Football Federation Australia and Clubland. And one of the things we discovered that even at a team level, it's not really done properly. But if you delve into the individual level, the success rate is huge. Like every player we've touched on has gone on and succeeded over in Europe. So when we speak about discipline and making people accountable and building that individual program, I think you probably see it as well. The success rate must be pretty high.
Yes, 100%. Because the reason why my business is called Number One Asset is that I believe that you are your number one asset. And if you don't come first, your business won't come first. Yeah. So, and if I can build you individually, the success will flow on to your business.
Yeah. Now, we did touch on yesterday, you flew in yesterday, and the first place I took you to was my gym. And I'm very, very lucky the gym I go to is called Function Well. I give them a bit of a pump. And they've got an amazing gym, but also a restoration zone. And ice bath, with which you didn't get in, but I did. magnesium heated pool, infrared sauna, steam room. When you talk about one of your pillars, health, is that what you mean? Is that, like we spoke about this a little bit, you say about allowing yourself time to think and just relax, or is it something more than that as well?
No, so health is my second pillar behind discipline, because your overall health will decide how much effort and time you can put in your business. So it starts from nutrition. What do you eat? That's going to be personal diet as well, because everyone is different. Different things will fuel you. So that's something we have to find out. Do you sport? Do you work out? What kind of workouts do you do? In combination with what you eat. Rest is a very important one. How do you break up your day? Do you wake up early? Do you stretch late? And what kind of effect does that have on the rest of your day? So what was very important for me was my weekly structure. So as a player, you know what day your game is going to be. So if, let's say, my game was on a Saturday or on a Sunday, I would know the rest of my week already, leading up to my peak moment. And I found in my dealing with entrepreneurs that they don't really have that structure in their, not in their personal life, but then also not in their business. So it's very important to identify your peak moments, because we're gonna have to work towards your peak moment. What do we eat in the beginning of the week? How many hours do you sleep? And so it's kind of a individual catered program. To the person I'm working with.
It's a good rabbit hole, but it is like a rabbit hole, isn't it? Each pillar, when you go down it, like you can literally keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
Like that's why I think I sometimes see like these online programs and structured programs, and I always look at them and go, yeah, but you're missing that and you're missing this. And it's like, and that's what I like about your program, that you're being open and honest. You're like, there's no set format because everyone's different. But the biggest thing I think you give people is your time and your knowledge. And that for me, like, it's so upsetting when you see people when they get to 70s and 80s and they pass away. And these people have had so much knowledge and information and they haven't shared it in their lifetime. And I think my biggest, one of the reasons is why I do my stuff is because I'm only 44 and I don't claim to know everything, but I've learned a lot in the 44 years of being here. And I can only imagine what's inside your head. And I've started delving in it yesterday, and it's a rabbit hole when you go down it. And I think people need to know it. The next one, and this is a big one I love, is like spirituality and that. Do you want to talk a little bit about that on one of your pillars and how you explore that?
Yeah, as well. So most of the time when you talk about spirituality, people think about religion. Spirituality is, for me at least, it's not religion. But it's how you present yourself. So I'll give you a bit of a background on myself, where it comes from. When I was around 20, I lost my grandmom. So she was not my grandmom, but she was my grandma. So I never knew my grandmom, but she was my grandmother's sister. So for me, that was your grandmother, yeah. And she passed away. But leading up to that, we spent about 2 weeks going to hospital every day, going through the corridors, hearing the sounds, the beeps, seeing the tubes. That really made me realize that I was first of all very blessed of waking up every day.
Yeah.
Be a professional footballer. So from then on, my perspective of life changed. And for me, it was very important that every day you wake up with gratitude.
Yeah.
Like being able to wake up, stand up, because not everybody can stand.
Yeah.
Some people can't even get out of their bed, breathing normally, because I've seen the tubes that go in and out. So for me, that was a point of, okay, if I start my day off with gratitude, the rest of the day will be a blessing.
Yes.
So, and that's, for me, that's spirituality. Because if I can get you to that point of breaking everything down and starting with gratitude, then everything that comes after that will be a blessing if you realize what you have and who you are.
Yeah, it's so true. Actually, touching back to mindset, and I don't know if you've read it or not or listened to the audio book, and we've touched on this before in previous episodes, but there's a great book called Mindset, and it's by Carol Dweck. I'm not sure if you've read it or not.
Yes, I've
and obviously
of her work. Yeah.
it's growth and fixed mindset, and that was one of the lessons I think she gives in the book. And I'll admit, I used to be one of these. You'd get up and you'd stub your toe on the corner of the bed, and it'd be like effing and blanding and cursing, and my day would curtail for the rest of the day, and sometimes the week as well. And when you look at that, you're like, just because you got out of the bed and stubbed your toe, it's like, you're going to fall at the first hurdle. And I had to start really looking at myself, because I'm like coaching players and I'm trying to develop players, and I'm preaching something, but I'm also not doing it. And that's when I really started to delve into some of this mindset stuff. And it's, and I think we touched on it yesterday as well. I said, I haven't been overly spiritual or gone to church all the time, but I've always had like faith.
Yep.
And I think if you've got that gratitude and you've got that faith and you believe in something, and it's the possibilities are endless. So the next one, relationships.
So relationships, coming back to mom and dad, my wife, my kids, even my mates, I have to give them props as well, because I have seen very different. So I'll give you a little example of the mates I had. Being 15, wanted to go to late night shopping.
Yeah.
As for us, that was a Friday night as well. They would just send me home. Hey, got a train tomorrow. Don't need to be here. Go home, focus, because like you have the potential to make it. So do everything you can in your power to make it.
Yeah.
And it's no point of being with us because like we can't.
Yeah.
You're not that good. So and they would send me home.
Yeah.
And my dad with discipline. My wife like having the bad days, waking up grumpy, don't want to go to training. You got the muscle aches, and like she comforted me, making me a good meal. So when I was on camp, taking care of the house, taking care of the kids, like that for me is relationships. Because without all of them, I couldn't have become who I've become in my career.
Talking about relationships and maybe touching back into the football world, but I think people have it in the business world. How did you gravitate relationships when you knew there was someone who you didn't get on with, whether it be a coach or another player? What advice would you give? Because that's one of the big things we get from our players when they come into our pro group Zoom meetings monthly, and they'll have a player they don't like in the squad or someone who's really mean to them or rude to them. How did you navigate that growing up from a relationship point of view?
Well, the first thing doesn't like you, or you have to be you. And you are the only one that can share your gift with the world. So if you're gonna let somebody intervene in that, you can't fulfill your purpose. So there's always gonna be people gonna be against you. If you try to move forward, if you try to do the good thing, just do the good thing. Don't be worried about what anyone has to say. Because in the end, you have to live your life. And if you let people take away your good energy, it's energy loss because you can't pass it on.
Yeah, well, that's so true. And I think the next one, I think you said, was fear and risk.
Yep.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the fear and risk elements as well with the program?
Yeah, so that's also very important in mindset. So the fear comes in with the fixed mindset. So everything you do is judgmental. Fear. For me, it's a narrow road. So if you're in a car, it's a narrow road, one-way street. You can't turn left and right. You only can see a certain distance. That's for me, that's a fixed mindset. And we want to get to that growth mindset where you're able to give, you're able to share, you're able to learn from different people. You can turn your car left or right. You can make a U-turn, even a reroute, because sometimes you need a reroute to go forward. And for me, that's the growth mindset. And especially as an entrepreneur, if you live in that fixed mindset, in that fear, you're scared to move. And especially if you want to grow your business, if you want to grow personally, if you let fear blind you and numb you, you can't move. And if you want to grow, like you have to. So what I did, for example, with fear that always creeps in, like even though I played at the highest level for almost 2 decades, fear always comes in. It's always that little voice that comes in. Hey, you can't. What if you make a mistake? And when I learned to take my fear and transform that into a possibility of overcoming, and by overcoming, growing, that's when I really started to kick off. Because now that fear was opportunity. So instead of numbing me, it would give me an extra boost.
Yeah.
Well, what if I overcome this fear?
Yeah.
What now? What can I become if I do? So it will give me an extra boost. And that's what I want to get to with my clients as well. Instead of looking at it as fear, look at it with a different perspective and see the opportunity of what if I overcome?
Yeah.
What if I'm going to be better? And that's one of the fun things for me to see in my clients, like see that growth. And from that growth comes the happiness and the positive energy moving forward.
Yeah, I love it. I'm very fortunate. I've had a lot of good mentors over the years and coaching mentors. And one of the things I don't think I realized at the time he was trying to teach me when I was in my late 20s, but he said, like, even looking at the word impossible, he said, you can see it as impossible. He said, or you can split it into 2 words. He said, and it says, I'm possible. He said, and when you look at it that way, he said, if you just start to look at everything in that way, can you flip and reverse anything? He said, to remove that word impossible from your dictionary to am possible, he said, it changes your whole world.
Yeah.
And I'm a testament to that with like what we've done over the past couple of years. And I did remove a lot of fears, personally and within the business world. And it's like, it's just really, really helped. And I can't encourage it enough. We're just about to go to our next ad break. But when we get back, we will be finishing off on those 8 pillars. And then also we're going to be touching on something that I'm really excited to talk about, which is the World Cup and Huge Alliance.
Hey everyone, we are coming around every major city in Australia over the next 12 months. We have got free objective football testing going on, guys. It's for boys and girls aged 10 all the way through to 18 years of age. The objective testing is quite simple. We'll put you through our 6 tests and I'll give you your results, physical, technical and tactical. And also, we're going to choose 16 winners to join us on an all expenses paid trip to Europe in 2024 and also 2025. Guys, what have you got to lose? Nothing. It's free to sign up. You get free objective testing and you'll get a free feedback, and maybe you'll be joining me at the Santiago Bernabeu in 2024 or 25.
Hi everyone, this is the Raymond Wood podcast, and we've just got our last section to this amazing episode with Q Jallians. Q, we were just speaking about your 8 pillars and your mindset business coaching, and we touched on discipline, health, spirituality, relationships, fear and risk. The next one, and I'm really intrigued with this one, this is one that I've worked on a little bit myself, but I'd love to learn some more from you. There's obligation. Can you talk a little bit more on this and how you add this into your program?
Yeah, so I've linked in obligation with charity, and for me that's all about giving back. The example I give is having a fruit tree. So you've planted a seed, grew a big strong tree, and it gives delicious fruit. So the thing you can do is enjoy take the seed and plant a new tree. So, and for me, that comes in with everything that I've learned in my career. To plant a new seed will be working with one of the younger players. So how can I install what I've learned, my strengths, my weaknesses, and teach the younger one, the next generation? Or in business, for example, teaching strategies that I've learned throughout my business career to like upcoming business people. Yeah. So for me, it's all about building community. Because if I can give you a seed, you plant your own tree, and you start to build your own tree for you and your family, and you do the same thing to the next, like within a few years, there will be a strong community of healthy trees, strong trees, and with a lot of fruit.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at life. And for me, that's something that kind of you paid forward. Like you can't reap what you don't sow.
Yeah.
So, and that's where it comes down for me.
Yeah, I think we touched on this yesterday about paying it forward. And I've met an amazing, how I originally met Q for our listeners, were part of an entrepreneurial group called the Iconic Family, which is headed up by the amazing Ethan Zanarty and Sri Arliston. And through this family, I met an amazing lady recently called Kathy DeMarcus. And she said life is all about paying it forward. And one of the examples she gave me, and it was one that I've recently started doing, and I love doing it because, you know, it puts a smile on people's face. Little things like going to a coffee shop and paying for the next coffee and paying it forward. So that person who rocks up behind you gets that free coffee. And they don't know who you are, but it's like the effect it has. It's like the opposite of banging your toe on the end of the bed. It's like the smile on your face. And not that I go through fast food places anymore because I've gone through the whole nutrition thing, but even like last year, I remember going through the drive-thru at McDonald's and I was paying for the Carby Army. And it was funny how this like little fear thing crept in, because they went, oh, it's like $68. I'm thinking, bloody hell, what have they ordered? I'm like, no, stop that. That was like the devil on that side. I'm like, you're paying it, pay it for them. And it's just little things like that. And I think it's okay to take, but it's so good to give. And it puts the biggest smile on your face. And again, it goes back to what we touched on before. It's like people don't know Louis van Gaal. They think they do because they've read a newspaper article in England when he was at Manchester United, and they've got this big opinion on Louis van Gaal or what a bad person. And it's really upsetting to see. And I think I touched on yesterday I was very fortunate to do my UEFA A licence in Ireland. And I think you said you'd done yours, ironically, at the FAI as well, a couple of years after me. And I was very fortunate to have Michel Salgado on the course, who's like a Real Madrid legend, who you know, and he's like yourself, he's played Champions League. He was the most humble guy you've ever met. Like, the time he gave you, it was never a problem. You could ask him anything, he would give you time of day. And I think when we go back to talking about A-licensed coaches in this country who all want to coach the top team and don't want to do anything with the 8s or the 10s, it kills me. It's like, these youngsters are our future, and our best coaches and players who've played at the top level, or even if it's, you know, top level in Australia, A-League, should be going in, taking the under-10 SAP team and take them for a journey. Take them through for 5 years, take them for 10 years. You're going to turn them into the next Socceroos. It's that simple. But the hindsight in the country in Australia, it's really upsetting to see that they want to coach these men's teams, and with all due respect, none of them are really going to make it at the top level if you're playing NPL football. We need to really encourage that. So that one obligation for me is it's one of my favourite ones, and I love it. So the last two, and the second to last, is goals. And this is definitely an important one. So how do you assist with goals? And do you do it in a normal manner where you just get people to set goals and tasks, or are you doing it a little bit different?
I want them, first of all, them to set the goals. And I'll tell you where I come from with my goal setting. So during my career, there was one instance where I made a transfer from from Sparta Rotterdam to Willem II. Willem II playing Champions League at the time. Coach was Co Adriaans.
Yes.
He was known as the general in Holland for a reason.
I remember.
And he was really strict, disciplined mentality. And I kind of had like a job interview, and one of the questions he asked me was like, what are your goals? Like, what do you want to accomplish? And at that time I was part of the young national team. So my goal was to get to the A team. I wanted to get into the national team. And at that time there was no indication of me getting to that level or anything like that. But that was my goal. I wanted, whatever happens, I want to get to the national team. And that's raising the bar very high. And the way I look at it is, it's better to raise the bar high and then drop down from that than raising it low, because it's harder to move up from that.
Yeah.
So with my goal setting, that's my aim with my clients. Raise the bar as high as you can and from there work your way, small steps at a time. Because when you know the destination, you can always reroute. But if you just start here and move to point B, and you don't know your end destination, like there's no guidance. So for me, that goal setting, that's your roadmap. That's the guidance. So you know the end goal. Now we're gonna work on how we're gonna get there.
Yeah. And I love that, because that's one of the big things that people have knocked me and knocked Euro Football Star, because we put super lofty goals in. And I say to the players when they come on our pro player pathway, what do you want to do? And they go, oh, I'd like to play professional football. Who for? Maybe the Brisbane Roar. And I'm like, is that it, the Brisbane Roar, or do you want to go even bigger? And they're like, oh, maybe, but, you know, and you can see the fear of like families, and they don't want to say something so lofty because people are going to have a go at them. And just for me to touch on like my background, I realised probably in 2005, watching the Champions League final, and it was Liverpool AC Milan, and Carlo Ancelotti was on the sideline. And even though I loved Rafa Benitez because he was our coach and I loved Liverpool, he was the coach I used to look at and go, to be able to be like him or work with him would be phenomenal. Roll on literally 9 years later, 8 years later, I'm walking around the training grounds of Paris Saint-Germain with Carlo Ancelotti. Now, I remember people used to say, what, you've worked at PSG, did you? What did you do? And it's like, yeah, well, this is where I worked and this is how long I was there for. And I was very lucky to be around some of these people like Paul Clement, who was his assistant. And it's like, if you don't have these lofty goals, you'll never, ever get there. And you've got to set your goals as high as possible. Because if you do fall slightly short, well, it still might be a good outcome. And this is what we say, again, it's understanding that, you know, if you want to be a professional football player, the pinnacle of football, whether you like it or not, probably is playing in England or playing in Spain, if we're all really honest, in club football. And I say to people when you come on our program, it's like, best case scenario, if you play in MPL football, you might make it as an A-League player. Worst case scenario, you play divisional football, which is okay. But if you put the lofty goal on of saying, I want to play for Barcelona or Real Madrid or Ajax in Holland, and you fall a bit short, worst case scenario, if you've been in the system over there for 3-4 years on a pro scholarship, worst case scenario, you're going to come back and get an A-League contract like that.
Yep.
So wouldn't you want to be with the loftier goal? And that's what we try and do, is remove those fears from the players and families. So final one, money. A lot of people like money. How do you touch on money, and how do you implement this into your program?
So for me, the mindset about money is about allowing yourself. Because that's the only way you're going to receive. If you don't allow yourself to receive, you're not going to receive. And there's a reason as well why I put that pillar last. Because for me, but it all starts with the individual of allowing yourself. Like, am I good enough? Am I worthy of asking $1 million for the work I do? But if you know yourself and know where you want to get to, you're going to ask 2 million instead of the 1.
Yeah.
So that's, for me, that's the mindset about money, allowing yourself.
So it's about knowing your worth, I suppose. Yeah. And that's, again, it's one of the big things that I've learned over the past couple of years, that when we've looked at our programs and what we offer, and if you're comparing apples with apples, we feel like in Australia, we don't really have anyone to compare to, because what we offer is so individualised, it's so development-driven, it's so success-driven, and we're there for the athlete to give them that opportunity. No one else is doing that. And we really undervalued our business and where we sit as a business and what we offer to athletes. And since we've discovered our worth, we are now not only kicking goals financially as a business, but kicking goals off the park as well as on the park, but also through our financial successes, allowing us to build the biggest program and the most successful program, which in turn is giving our players opportunities. And we go back to the obligation and paying stuff forward. Anyone who comes in our pro player pathway, not many people know, but we actually give an 80% scholarship on the program. So we actually co-sponsor players $40,000 to be on the program. And we give probably, I think we've given about $2 million worth of sponsorships this year, and it's all about paying it forward and giving kids opportunities. So that's amazing. So in regards to your mindset coaching and stuff, how can like people reach out to you, and we'll obviously share on our notes on the show for people. But how can they get in touch and get hooked in with you for this? So first, my Instagram, number one asset coaching. You can find it under there. Through email as well. Number one asset coaching at gmail.com. And shortly there will be a Facebook page as well. Brilliant. Yep, we'll share all that in our post notes. So just to finish off, and this is probably the exciting one, we did touch on a little bit about like Champions League football and World Cups. First one I want to touch on is Champions League, and I touched on 2005 Champions League final, Liverpool AC Milan, when Liverpool should never have won that game against probably arguably one of the best club teams ever in my eyes, that AC Milan team, who had a Dutch player in it by the name of Clarence Seedorf, who you managed to hook me in with for the Champions League final, which was amazing, and I got to meet him. And he wasn't having any bar to me. And then I mentioned your name and showed him a picture and I said, look, I'm friends with Q. And then all of a sudden I got 10 minutes of his time. So for anyone who doesn't know about Clarence Seedorf actually won the Champions League with 3 different teams. So when you were playing Champions League football, do you remember your first game and who it was against? And what was the feeling like when that Champions League music comes on?
The first one was, I think, Sparta Prague.
Sparta Prague?
Yeah, at home with Willem II. And it was all about the hymn.
Yeah.
So forget about the football.
Yeah.
Just being on the pitch, standing in that line, the emblem in the middle of the pitch, and hear the hymn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just close your eyes for a few seconds and that's it.
And if that's not going to motivate you, nothing's going to motivate you.
100%. Yeah, no, that was an amazing feeling. And I was 20 as well at the time. So that's not a lot of players can say they played Champions League at 20.
I'll admit this as well. I think I've cried about 3 or 4 times when I've heard that song, and especially when Liverpool won it on a couple of occasions, and it's definitely a special piece of music. I have it on my phone when I need to get motivated. I sometimes put it on pre my events as well, and it's just a magical piece of music. So just to finish off on the Champions League, who was probably the best player you ever played against in Champions League football?
So I would have to pick my mate, Robin van Persie.
Robin van Persie.
Yeah, we played Arsenal. So we had a draw at home, but away they just killed us.
Yeah.
And he was one of the main reasons why. But yeah, magical team.
Yeah.
Fabregas, Van Persie, Arshavin, they were ballers.
They were very, very, very good. So World Cup, as I said, I think for me, people understand the Olympics because a lot of people watch the Olympics, but in Australia, not as many people follow football, especially older generations. But to play for your country is probably the biggest achievement. But to go on and play for a World Cup. So what World Cup was it you played in, and where was it?
2006 in Germany. And for me, very special because I got heavily injured during the last friendly game we played. So I didn't expect to go, to be honest. The day of announcement, I was on the heavy drugs, laying in my bed. So I didn't even know what was going on. But the next minute, my dad rushes in my room, and he's like, "You're in." And I'm thinking, like, in what? What happened? And they announced the team, and you're in, you're going. And I wasn't like, I questioned, will I be fit in time? So worked hard towards recovery during the World Cup. And when I got fit and opportunity came, I got my World Cup game against Argentina.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you played against a very small player, didn't you? And not just in stature, but Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah, it was an epic game. So, and I have to say as well, because people always say, "Oh, you played against Messi. What was it like?" But so they had Messi, Tevez, Riquelme,
a few good players.
But then again, like, if I call out my team, like Van Persie, Van Nistelrooy, Kuyt,
Yes. Van der Sar, Schneider, Van der Vaart, from Bolghorst. Like, we had a top team. So, although it was very special to play against him, for us it was about winning the game.
Yeah.
Because it was just good players against good players. Yeah. So my sole focus wasn't on Messi, although it was very special. But it was just a beautiful game. I remember the crowd, like, everywhere orange, other side blue and white.
Yeah.
Maradona came and watched the game.
Wow.
King and Queen of Holland came and watched the game. We met them after the game as well. So it was just like, yeah.
So where was it? What stadium was it played at? Can you remember? In Germany?
I think Frankfurt.
Frankfurt?
I think.
And score? What was the final score of the game for all this?
0-0.
0-0?
Yeah, so as a defender playing against Tevez, Messi, Riquelme.
So you kept them quiet?
Yeah, that's a win.
Yeah,
That's a win.
That is definitely a win. That was definitely a win. So before we finish off, within inside football, do you still have a good close network within the football fraternity? Did you keep in touch with any players you played with? And
yeah, off and on. Sometimes difficult because everyone goes their own way. We change numbers a lot. But yeah, still in contact with a few. Every time I go back to Holland, I always go past AZ Alkmaar. Still got good contacts there with board members. I went there a few months ago, spent time with the team that plays the youth league.
Yeah.
I spent a few days with the first team coaching staff as well. So, and that's always good to be in that realm of football. A few years ago, I spent some time at Liverpool at the academy. Spent a day with the first team as well. Through Pepijn Leinders, assistant coach of club. So yeah, I have my network, and it's always good to be like received well in football.
Yeah.
I think I carry like a good name within the football world, so that's a positive. And yeah, football's been my life, so it's always good to be in football, be around football people, like-minded people. So yeah, it's always good fun.
Yeah, and I think just one final one to touch on. It's funny, we talk about the 5 degrees of separation, but we've got a bit of a triangle, me and you and another person, but we spoke about it yesterday. Emil Heskey, I loved him as a Liverpool player. I was so excited when we signed him. To then, many years later, going on to coach and work for Leicester City myself, and then to discover yesterday you're actually quite good friends with Emil. And we touched on that you'd obviously built up a relationship in Australia with him.
Yeah.
And you keep in touch with them on a regular basis.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, and that's, what a player. I loved Emil Heskey.
Yeah, a good man, very good man. Not only on the pitch, but also off the pitch. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got a couple of boys kicking goals at the moment.
Yeah, they're doing well, playing for Man City. Emil was coaching the girls at Leicester. And I know he's, what's he doing again? Like a spokesperson for Leicester as well. So he's still in football. Also as an ambassador, as the person he is. So brings a lot of value with the football world.
Amazing. Now, unfortunately, we've got to bring that episode to an end, but I think we could do 7 or 8 episodes with you, Hugh, just on them pillars alone. But a big thank you, Hugh, for coming in. And as I said, we're hopeful of securing your signature and getting you in the pro player pathway and get your mindset program. I think it's going to be invaluable for our athletes as we move forward. And to be able to access an ex-Champions League star and World Cup player and someone who shut out Messi in a World Cup game, which is pretty impressive. So a big thank you for me and everyone at Euro Football Star. And for our listeners and followers, we will be back in a week or so with our next episode. So a big thank you for everyone who tuned in, and we hope you all got something from that. And namaste and peace. Thank you.